सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति। The question is, I said ego means self-importance. Unselfishness means the focus goes on to the other. So the question now is, in unselfishness, is the attention more on the other? Yes. In unselfishness, is the other more important than oneself? That is the question. The answer is yes. In unselfishness, the other is always more important than yourself. Because in selfishness, you are more important. You are more important. Not only you are more important, you would want everybody to consider you as important. Where the problem comes in selfishness is you consider yourself important, and if you stay quiet, problem hai gadaya. Yeah, where the problem comes in is you feel yourself as important, and everybody should acknowledge that. Everybody should behave according to that. That is selfishness. Selfishness is nothing but constant attention seeking. That's all selfishness is. What is selfishness? To put it very simply, selfishness is what? Constantly seeking attention. You will pay attention to somebody if the other person has agreed to pay attention to you. Yeah. This is called love, isn't it? This is called love. Is this love? This is not love. This is transaction. You pay attention to me, I will also pay attention to you. Mutually, we will pay attention to each other. And also, we will promise to each other that we will not shift our attention to somebody else also. You follow? All this looks so divine, so ethical, so moral, so unselfish, so great, so wonderful. And those who are doing it believe they are the most noblest souls on this planet, ultimately resulting in a disaster. Why? Because attention is upon oneself. Attention is upon oneself. So what is selfishness? Selfishness means constantly seeking attention. Pay attention to me. If you pay attention to me, quid pro quo. That's called quid pro quo, no? When you do something to me, in return, I'll do something. Then the fight will start. Who has done more? Who has done more? You follow what I'm saying? Second, since it is, this is the crux of the whole, since it is imaginary by nature, The seeking self-attention is so imaginary, so deluded, so delusive, it can never get contented. It can never be appeased. How much ever attention is given, it can never be appeased. It will want more. See, have you ever observed the irony of human life? The selfishness, irony. What is irony? You will feel lonely and you will seek company. After seeking company, you will say, leave me alone, I need my space. When you are having your space, you should have stayed quiet, no? Isn't it? புரியுதா ராமசுப்ரமணியம்? தனியா இருந்தா யாருமே இல்லை சார். I'll go seek a relationship. The moment I seek a relationship, immediately I'll ask, I want my space. Hey, what do you decide? What do you want? Do you want your space or do you want company? Sir, very simple. When I want a company, the other person should come. When I want to be left alone, just leave alone. Just leave. Where is the problem in life? If at all we live life like that, வாழ்க்கையில் யாருக்குமே கஷ்டம் வராது சார். சிலம்பரசன் வருமா? வரும். It will come. How can it not come? Are you able to follow? This is selfish. The irony of selfishness is this. It's delusive by nature. Why we call it as delusion is because it just doesn't know what it is asking. You don't know what you are asking. That's why consider this example. How long I have thought about this. Why is it that when I am lonely, I want a company? When I have company, I say, the other is occupying my... See, I invited the person and said, occupy my space. Who invited the other? Correct. Isn't it? I invited the other, come and say, occupy my space. And then when the other came and occupied my space, I turn back and say, my freedom is lost, give my space. Are you able to follow? You understand this, you will understand the absurdity of selfishness. Are you able to follow? When we say the other is important, what it implies is the attention is gone out of you. The other, when we say other is important, the point here is not the other. The point here is attention has gone out of you. Otherwise, the same problem will start there also. Who's the other? Does the other deserve this? But these people and all don't deserve it. Then who deserves? Yeah, who deserves? You will want to help those who doesn't need your help. You will want to help a Shankaracharya. You will say, what can I do to? You will go to Shankaracharya and ask, what can I do? You will go to Ramana Maharshi and ask, what can I do? What he will say in return? Take care of yourself. Yeah. He will simply say, take care of yourself. That's all. Well, don't worry about. Christ said, don't worry about my cross. Worry about your cross. My cross is being handled already. I have handled it already and I know how to deal with it. I have no problem. You don't know how to deal with your cross. So deal with your cross. Know to handle your cross. Are you able to follow? Therefore, when we say in unselfishness, the other is important, attention must go out of you. You follow? You follow? Selfishness means, I'll give example. Selfishness means, when you ask for example, it will be painful and hurting. What? Concept wise, it's good. Examples will be a bit painful and hurting, but it's okay. She's saying it's okay, I want to get hurt. I don't know. She's in a very, she woke up from the wrong side of the bed today for a change. For a change. Selfishness means you will create a mess and others must clean it up. Unselfishness means you will not leave any mess for anybody to clean it up. That's all. Are you able to follow? Again. Selfishness means you will create a mess and others should come and clean it up. Unselfishness means I will ensure that I don't leave any mess behind. Are you able to follow? This is selfish and unselfish. So it starts from where, when you leave your footwear, how you leave your footwear. When you take things, you leave it back in the same place. There's a house here only in Chennai, one of our very close to our family. They're not relatives to us, but we have been living together for generations. We have been living together next to each other. They're very, very close. There's a girl. She's elder to me. She and my sister are of the same age. She's blind. She's completely blind. Very difficult in that house when visitors come. You know why? When visitors come, it is very difficult. Why? She's so blind. She's cooking. She's cleaning. She doesn't stay quiet at all. She's so active. They just go into the kitchen to see her working. Oh my God. How she folds the clothes, how she washes it, and how she cleans how she cooks and how she cleans the kitchen. When visitors come, they don't even recognize. See, everybody knows that she is blind. All of us know that she is blind, but the thought itself will not occur. So when they don't remember that they should keep it in the same place because she can't see. So when the knife is taken, it has to be kept in the same place. Otherwise, who will she ask, where is the knife? Are you able to follow? This is unselfishness. This is unselfishness. Selfishness is you go there, you do things in the way that you are not even aware of it. You know? Because she just touches and sees. So she knows where it is kept. So everybody in the house is trained to take things and keep it in the same place. My God. I tell you, I have seen one of the cleanest kitchen when she cooks. And she's blind. The way that she folds the clothes, the way that she looks like she is seeing more than us. Looks like she is seeing more than us. You go there, what you should do? What is unselfishness there? Not sympathizing with her. Oh, poor thing, you lost your eye. Not sympathizing with her. That is not unselfishness. That is simply superficial emotion. That is. In 2 seconds, I forget. What is unselfishness? I don't even have to go and tell her, oh, poor thing, you are blind. No, nothing. All that you got to do is what? Remember where you take the plate from so that you go and keep it in the same place. Are you able to follow? This is what unselfishness is all about. Means if you can't even identify with a blind person, now see how selfish the mind is. If I can't even identify with a blind person, I'll go, she'll say, coffee podu kudukatuma? I'll say, yes, podu. It's okay, make coffee. Okay. She'll ask, You won't take sugar, no? Yeah, I don't take sugar. She goes inside, makes coffee and brings it back. It means everything. So you can't leave anything. You can't leave anything on the way because she can't. She's bringing coffee. Oh my God. Just to see her doing things itself is so inspiring. You follow? All that I have to do is what? Be aware that there is a person here. Are you able to follow? Just be aware that there is a person here. Just be aware that there are others also around me. That's all. That is unselfishness. And awareness that there are others also around me. And I am not the only important person here. Either all are equally important or nobody is important. Nobody's existence matters. Are you able to follow? What is the reality of life? Nobody's existence matters. Life moves on. Life moves on. It is a selfishness. Ego makes me to believe that, oh, if I am not there, what will happen? Nothing will happen. What will happen? Life will. Men may come and men may go, but I go on forever, said the brook. Men may come and able to follow. So, what is selfishness? This is selfishness, where I can't even recognize the presence of the other. It doesn't really matter who the other is. It doesn't really matter who the other is. Are you able to follow? Unselfishness is an awareness of things that is helping you. When you know that you are being helped, you will be taking care of that. Your footwear is helping you. What you should do? It's not a fashion thing, no. Footwear is not fashion. It's protecting, isn't it? It's protecting you. And so minimum what you have to do. Minimum what you have to do. As I am washing my clothes, I have to keep my footwear also clean. Minimum thing that is required is protecting, isn't it? Even today, some of my batchmates in the academy, they teach me for that. You wash your footwear, no? You wash your slippers, no? I have a routine. Once in 15 days, I will wash it. It's part of that place itself is clean. You don't have to. It's not like we are walking on the roads. It's not like we are walking on that place itself is so neat. No, the point is not about. The point is, are you aware? Are you aware? It means it is helping you. It's protecting you. It's taking care of you. What you should do in return? Take care of it. Take care of it. You follow what I'm saying? You can't make a list of the things now. You can't say, okay, A, B, C, D things. To whatever extent you can, you do. And ensure that every 3 weeks you will add one more item. Because whole day you can do and there is no end. You can't, okay, sir, okay. From now on, I'll wash my footwear. Very good. Nothing will happen. Yeah, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. You follow what I'm saying? Nothing will happen. Just being aware. An awareness of the existence of the others. Minimum I can do is what? Minimum I can do to the other is, let me not be a source of agony or pain. They themselves are in pain and agony. Everybody is in pain and agony by themselves. All that I have to do is what? Let me not cause it. Even if I am not positively contributing, at least I can ensure that I don't cause. You follow what I'm saying? That is unselfish. What all I have to be unselfish about, list is endless. You understand the idea and you stretch and see how much you can do. The presence of the other. Finally, the last thing. There's no end. For the next 1 year, I can keep talking about selfish and unselfish. So much can be spoken about it. Finally, now for today, finally. Yeah, just for this session, finally. You have to serve those who are in pain. Who requires service? Who helps? Who needs help? Who are in pain. They are in pain. Those who are in pain needs your help. Correct? Needs your help. That's called unselfishness. Why they got into the situation of being in pain? Why the other gotten themselves into the situation that they have to be in pain? Selfishness. They didn't live life in the way it ought to be lived. Because of selfishness, they are in pain today. You understand that? You understand that you will not feel like helping anybody. That's why you always ask whom to help, sir. Whom to help? If I say A, B, C, D, this you help these persons, you will turn back and say, these people? These people don't deserve my. Then who deserves? Then who deserves? I don't know. You follow what I'm saying? You don't go into the merit of the other. When I say merit of the other means, can you be of some help? You help. Can you be of some help? You help. If you can't be of any help directly, you can pray at least. You can pray. That helps. So unselfishness means recognizing the cause of the other pain, the reason that the other is in pain, keeping it aside, and you go on. You follow? When Ramatirtha is helping us, when a Ramana Maharshi is helping us, when a Shankaracharya is helping us, don't they know what we are? Don't they know who we are? In spite of it, how are they able to? In spite of knowing us in and out, we may not know about ourselves the way that they know about us. And still, where does the motivation come from to help? That's unselfishness. You will follow? That's called unselfishness. That's why I'm giving this as an example. This is called unselfishness. Follow their example. Follow their example. Just one-sided, that's all. Help. What happens if I continuously keep helping like this? Unselfish person is not bothered about what will happen. Whatever happens doesn't matter, I'll keep serving. Are you able to follow? Example, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa saving scorpion. He went to the Ganges to bathe. Dakshineshwar is right on the river banks it is, isn't it? Beautiful place it is, right on the banks, right on the river. Ganges bank it is. He went there to bathe along with his friend. He saw a scorpion getting washed away. Instinctively, he put his hand and saved it, took it. What that scorpion did, it stung. It stung him, lost its balance and fell into the water. Because in the hand, no, there's no stability there. He himself is stinging. So in that sting, he will also shake. So lost its balance and fell into the water. Immediately, what Ramakrishna did, again he picked it up. His friend, seeing that, told him, in the town, people call you mad. Today, it is proved that you are mad. Because people call him, when he was alive, he was called mad. All wise people will have a shade of madness. Converse is not true. All mad people are not. Converse true. Yeah, converse is not. They have that. Oh, his friend said, it is proven today that you are mad. Why? Because how many times it is stinging you? How many times you are stinging you? And why are you saving it? Ramakrishna turned back and said, will you ever give a lecture to the scorpion and say not sting? You can give a lecture to the scorpion, not sting. Can the scorpion stop stinging? Look at the answer he gives, a so beautiful answer. He said, will you ever give a lecture to the scorpion saying, don't sting, this man is sacrificing, he's a great man, Mahatma, he is lifting you up. All that you have to do is what? You have to prostrate to him, because his hand is touching you itself will give you moksha. Instead of worshipping his hands and falling at his feet, you are thinking. You can give all this lecture to the scorpion. After listening to all the lecture, what the scorpion will do? It will sting. Yeah, Ramakrishna gave. The nature of the scorpion is to sting. The nature of Ramakrishna is to save. We both are helpless, he said. We both are helpless, he said. That man is extraordinary. The nature of the scorpion is to sting. Nature of Ramakrishna is to save. And we both are helpless. Helplessly, scorpion will sting. Helplessly, I'll keep saving. Where is the problem? Are you able to follow? This is called unselfishness. So if you want to understand what unselfish is, remember the story. Ramakrishna saving scorpion. In the scorpion is stinging, he is able to save it. That's the greatness of that person, isn't it? Scorpion is stinging and he's saving. Scorpion is stinging and he is saving. In unselfishness, there will be an element of foolishness. It will look like that. In unselfishness, there is always an element of foolishness. Unselfishness is not foolishness. It will appear to be so. It will appear to be so. Ramakrishna will look foolish only. How do we understand that? All our wisdom has not protected us. His foolishness has saved him. புரியுதா விஜய்? நம்மளோட புத்தாலத்தனம் நம்மளை காப்பாத்தல. Our wisdom didn't save us, for we are going deeper and deeper in misery. But that man's foolishness saved him. So it is better to be that foolish than to be this wise. Are you able to follow? Otherwise, logically speaking, that will look very. ஒரு வாட்டி ட்ரை பண்ணுங்க, ரெண்டு வாட்டி ட்ரை பண்ணுங்க, try once or twice, and if it is not helping, what you should do? Leave it and go, because that person doesn't deserve. நான் ஹெல்ப் பண்றேன்னா உங்களுக்கு புரியல சார். The other is not even understanding that I am helping. The other doesn't even understand that I am helping. Now what to do with that person? Ramakrishna will say, help. Why are you concerned? Why are you concerned? You continue. You follow? There is an helplessness in helping others. That's so wonderful in it. Unselfishness, there is an helplessness, not impulsive, not foolishness. There is something so powerful in that human being that they can go on and on and on serving. You follow? So it is better to be a fool like that than to be a wise man in the town, because in the town is full of wise people. What happened to their wisdom? What is the end result of that wisdom? Worry, anxiety, crying, suffering, hoping that one day everything will become all right and I'll be happy, peaceful. Misery is the reality. Happiness and peace becomes the hope. Wisdom, the worldly wisdom. For the person like Ramakrishna, peace and happiness is the reality for them. Are you okay? Examples? Yes. Help. Don't bother about who the other is. Don't judge about the other. Simply help. You follow?
So this is first class. What does and selfishness, the move from selfishness, unselfishness, intellect should not be connected. Now, then we came and said gross intellect at that level is where these gradations are going to be functioning, because the minute a person turns subtle, I mean, it implies that there is a certain amount of unselfishness, selflessness there. Now, if intellect, which determines the choice of action, is not going to help or work on the selfishness, actions are a fallout of the strength of intellect. What is going to help drive this from a selfish person to unselfish, selfless? Then we say karma, and then again, is it somewhere the action I'm not able to?
No. Just ask the question. Don't answer also.
No.
Yeah, you don't ask the question and you don't answer it by yourself. Simply ask the question.
That guys, it's not intellect. What aspect of the human being will make him move from selfless to unselfish? I mean,
selfish to unselfish to selfless. Okay. The question is, karma, and solely she herself started answering. Yeah. So the question is this. Is intellect connected to selfish and unselfish? More intellect means more unselfish. Less intellect means less selfish. I said don't make that connection. Don't make intellect to intellect is an instrument. So don't connect an instrument with the quality. Selfishness, unselfishness is the inner quality. Mind and intellect is an instrument. Don't connect it. That's what I said last week. Now she's carrying it from that. If intellect is not the factor that helps the person move from selfish to unselfish to selfless, then what? Then what drives? Then what drives? It is not the intellect that drives. It is intellect that is strengthened by the study of the Shastras drive. Again, I repeat. Then what drives? It is intellect that is strengthened by the study of the Shastras. So it is the study of the Shastras through which the intellect is strengthened, and that guides the person to become unselfish and selfless. Are you okay till now? How does the Shastra distinguishes? Shastra distinguishes it so beautifully. The unselfishness can be resulting in punya. The unselfishness can be used for chitta shuddhi, liberation. This is where Shastra comes in to move a person from selfish to unselfish to selfless. Are you able to follow? Again, I repeat. What will help a person? It is study of the Shastra. See, merely being unselfish, somebody is suffering, you go and help. There's a consequence to that action. What is the consequence to that action? Punya karma. You get some punya karma, exhaust that punya karma, back to square one. Another possibility, you can use the same action of helping the other for your inner purification. That inner purification is what we call as Chitta Shuddhi. In the modern day terminology, we call it as self-development. Inner purification, people don't like it. What, I'm dirty or what? Who are you to say I'm dirty? So, self-development, okay. I'm not that bad. I'm good. I'm becoming better. That's all. So Chitta Shuddhi is the proper word. Are you able to follow? So how intellect distinguishes, how the Shastra guides the intellect to become unselfish? It tells you, it is the Shastra that comes and tells you that yes, if you are unselfish, you get punya karma. If you are unselfish for a specific purpose of self-development, it results in Chitta Shuddhi. It is that resulting in Chitta Shuddhi, that actual movement from unselfish to selfish to unselfish. Otherwise, I just acquire punya, remain as selfish as I am, exhaust my punya and come back to where I start. Come back to my level of selfishness. Again, I repeat. Yeah, a selfish person doing lot of good actions will get lot of punya karma. Does punya karma make a person unselfish? No. Punya karma will not make a person unselfish. That punya karma will give a better life to that person for a period of time. So, what is it that is actually guiding the intellect to become unselfish and selfless? Not the intellect by itself, the intellect guided by the Shastra. You able to follow? Intellect that is guided by the Shastra alone can. So, in effect, what is motivating you to become unselfish? It is the Shastra. Are you able to follow? Actually, so what is motivating you to become unselfish? It is the Shastra. Therefore, what will guide a person to become? What is inspiring, motivating a person to become from selfish to unselfish? Shastram. Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te. Therefore, let Shastra be your authority on deciding what should be done, what should not be done. It is that decision. Are you able to follow? Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te. Arjuna, let Shastra be the Pramanam. Pramanam means the final unquestionable authority. That's the final authority which you which you don't question at all. That's why it's called Pramanam. Even if you want to question, how you will question? You will try it out first and then come and question. You will not question to practice it. You will practice it and then come and ask a question. Are you able to follow? That's fourth chapter. Tadviddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya padekshante tu jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Verse number 34. Correct, 34. Verse number 34, chapter 4. Question. How do you question? You go and you try. You come back and question. You try, you come back and question. Are you able to follow? So what is it that is motivating you? It is the Shastra. Intellect guides the mind. Understand the hierarchy. The senses are under the mind. The mind is under the intellect. Intellect is under what? Shastra. Are you able to follow? Intellect is under what? Intellect is not a self-guiding entity. In the hierarchy, we say the senses, the mind, the intellect. Instead of using the word senses, we use the word body. Body, mind, intellect. Now, how you should understand it? Senses, mind, intellect. So, body, na senses. So, senses, mind, intellect. So, it is the senses in the mind. The mind has to be governed by the intellect. Now, what guides the intellect? It's the Shastra. Therefore, the intellect guided by Shastra is the motivating factor for moving from selfish to unselfish. Per se, not the intellect itself. Are you able to follow? You can't say per se the intellect is unselfish. You can't say that. Per se, intellect is an instrument. It's a tool. That's all. What is holding the tool? Shastra must hold the tool. If the Shastram is not holding the tool of intellect, then what will hold the tool? Mind. Other than pond. That is the poem Pond. That's the poem Pond. Are you able to follow? Beautiful is that poem Pond. You know the poem Pond? Huh? Ah, good. Not your poem. Ah. Yeah. I have read only my poems. And she is thinking she is a poet. Ah, correct. Yes. Not your poem. Ah, correct. Yes.
I have a poem called The Pond.
Which poem you read? Your poem or Vedanta poem? Ah, correct. Okay. You understood, no? Ah. That's why. The next question I will ask her, tell me the poem Pond now. Yeah, yes, I know. There is the chicken and the ducklings. They developed a friendship. The mother warned. What is the warning of the mother? Don't enter water. Play with them. But when they go to their house, you come to our house. Don't go to their house. Instruction. Let them go to their house. You come to our house. Play with them. That is okay. Are you able to follow? Intellect started working. For what? For the duck, for the duckling, for the chicken. Correct? Yeah. For the chicken, the intellect started working. Why should I not go into the water? Why should I not go into the water? We'll be reading the poem in the same chapter. We'll be reading that poem. It starts with my feet. It says, my feet. My feet and the duckling's feet are the same. It is seeing it as same. What do you do? It is seeing. It is seeing it as the same. It is not the same, no? So if the intellect is not guided by the Shastra, then what guides your intellect? Then what is guiding your intellect? Mind. The mind that is guided by the intellect is philosophically called as no intellect. The mind that is guided by the intellect is philosophically called as no intellect. No intellect doesn't mean absence of intellect. No intellect means the intellect is hijacked by, instead of what should be guiding it, that which should not be guiding it is guiding it. You follow what I'm saying? What should be guiding the intellect? It is the Shastra that has to guide. So what motivates a person to move from selfish to unselfish? The Shastra. So it is the Shastra that guides. How does it guide? By giving the logic, by giving the reason, by giving the explanation, by giving stories, by giving examples, by taking up instances from the life of it. Tries all methods to convince the intellect. What is powerful? The mind is powerful. Imagine all the wise men known, born in this world around you, your mind. What is powerful? Imagine Krishna is sitting, Rama is sitting, Ramtirtha is sitting, Christ is sitting, Ramana is sitting, all the wise men are sitting around you. Who's powerful? One word from the mind is enough to, one word from your mind is enough to dismiss the whole lot. The whole lot is dismissed. All that is required is what? Just one word from your mind. What is that word from your mind? What is that word from your mind? I, me. Me. That's called ahankara and mamakara. The I and me. The I and mine. The me, I and me and mine. That's rhyming. I and my, me and mine. The moment that thought comes in, all these people become powerless. It means, who's guiding your intellect now? The mind is guiding. So the mind guided by the intellect is called as no intellect. So it means, actually what is guiding you to move from selfish to unselfish? It is the Shastra. They always remember, intellect should guide. But intellect cannot guide by itself. What guides the intellect? That is very important. What guides the intellect is very important. If the intellect can guide by itself, then why sit and study? Intellect cannot do it by itself. It needs the help of the Shastras. So what helps? Shastras help. Are you okay? Yes. Yes. Correct. Yes. Yes. Now, the question is, how does prayer or blessing help? The other as a service. I said, if you can physically do, if you can't do, at least pray. Actions of the human being is of three. Human being uses three instruments to perform actions: the thought, the word, and the deed. Manasam karma, vachikam karma, kayakam karma. So all human beings' actions goes through these three. You follow? What are the three? Thought, word, deed. If I can do by deed, I do. There are times where I cannot do by deed. In that time, what will I do? Word. That is prayer. That is prayer. At least, loka samasta sukhino bhavantu sarva sanmanga. All prayers result in that. You follow? If not by word, at least by thought. How does the hierarchy work? At times in life, you may not be able to do an action physically. That is not an excuse not to serve. Therefore, you can serve through word. Sometimes in life, you may not be able to do anything physically and may not be able to utter a word also. At that time, you do mentally. So these are the three avenues by which I can serve. Okay, till now? Yes, that is coming now. These are the three ways in which it's done. Thought travels. It's called Sankalpa Shakti. It's called the power of thought. Nowadays, what they call as power of positivity, power of positive thinking, all these things they're talking about is nothing but coming. It's called, in Vedanta, we call it as Sankalpa Shakti. Sankalpa means thought. If there is a thought that a person directs towards your welfare legitimately, that thought will fructify as your welfare. Because action has to produce a result. The law is every action will produce a result. Suppose if there are 100 people legitimately wishing your welfare, if there are 100 people legitimately wishing your welfare, what happens to you? That 100 will have an effect on you. Are you able to follow? All human beings are bound by their karma, and they have to go through the consequences of their karma. If that is the only law of life, Loka Sangraha and all has no meaning. Helping the other, serving the other and all has no meaning. There is another law also. There is a law that you pay according to your karma. There is another law. What is another law? If there is a collectivity that is working towards somebody's welfare, that works out. There is another law. Are you able to follow? Supposing if it is only one law, everybody suffers things according to their karma. And nobody can help anybody. If that is the law, in what way can a human being become unselfish then? What is this idea of increasing the circle of identification, Loka Sangraha, etc.? The very fact that we are talking about Loka Sangraha, increasing the circle of identification, and all that implies that you can positively help somebody. It may not take away that person's problem completely. Intensity can be reduced. Somebody is having 1,000 rupee loan. Collectively we can give 500. That 500 reduction is a blessing to that person. Are you able to follow? 1,000 to 1,000 cannot be done. That is very clear. But the intensity can be reduced. That is called the Sankalpa Shakti. That is the power of thought. When an unselfish person says, it fructifies. When an unselfish person says, may you be blessed, it fructifies. The human being's problem is they immediately look back and see what is happening. Nothing will happen. That's not what's going to happen. Immediately that person will look back and say, nothing happened. You follow? It's not going to work like that. All that unselfishness can do in terms of other is it can reduce the intensity for the other. So the giver is benefited. Sorry, the receiver is benefited. The giver is also benefited. How the giver is benefited? Considering the welfare of the other. Are you able to follow? Ramatirtha calls it as, beautiful example he gives. He calls it as joint stock company, he says. Ramatirtha calls it as joint stock company. Maybe that's the time all the stocks and all would have started. I don't know why the stock only came into picture in the first place. kind of madness. But then whole world is doing that, therefore it is perfectly correct. And there are wise people also guiding it. Yeah. So, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett. Yeah. Almost buffoon drummer, isn't it? Almost sounds like a buffoon it is. Ramtirtha talks about it in 1902. Joint stock company, he says. He says life is a joint stock company, he says. According to the number of thoughts you deposit, that many shares you have. According to the number of thoughts you deposit, that many shares you have. If you have deposited one thought, one share. 100 thoughts, 100 shares. Million thoughts, million shares. So what is it he says? If there are a million thoughts deposited on the welfare of the other, what will happen? It will fructify. Are you able to follow? The crux of the whole thing is the prayer or the blessing is only saying you will be blessed. What that blessing is, prayer doesn't talk about. Carefully remember. That's when it works. The prayer simply says you will be, may you be blessed. What is that blessing? Loan borda. I have a loan. I'm suffering. I have a disease. Something I want is not happening. There are 10 things in the list I have. You will be blessed of dinner. Of the 10, what will happen? Prayer says, that is left to the divine wisdom. What should happen to you is left to the divine wisdom. That we are not talking. But the very thought that I am depositing, that let the other be, let the other be at peace, works. Are you able to follow? That's how it works. It's called the power of thought. Influences. Thought influences. Thought travels. Thought influences. Vedantic thought is influencing us, no? Isn't it? Vedantic thought is influencing us to an extent where we are willing to leave what I thought as wise way and what others are stilling as the wise way of living. I'm changing, no? I also thought that is the wise way of living, and around me also people are still thinking that is the wise way of living. I'm leaving all that and I'm changing. What is influence? The thoughts. The thoughts of the thoughts that is coming from the Shastras. You follow? Thoughts don't come from the Shastras directly. Medium. Guru becomes a medium for the Shastra. The Shastra won't speak to you directly. Book is only words. What is a book? Group of words put together is called a book. Shastram is not the book. The words that are given a meaning by the teacher, which we don't generally talk. It's not necessary to talk about that because it is implied in that. So therefore, what do? Without reference to the teacher, we always keep to the Shastra. You follow? Therefore, when there is a thought for the welfare of the other, when there is a thought for the welfare of the other, it works. What kind of a thought? You will not say, may this happen. That is not prayer. If you say, may this happen, then you are deciding what is good for the other. You will not say, may this happen. You will only say, let something good happen to that person. Are you able to understand the difference? This person is having a lot of loans. Oh, let that person be free of loans. You will not say. The person is not passing the exams. You will not say, let this person pass the exams. It means you are deciding what is good for the other. We don't know what is good for the other. But then what do? Let good happens. Let good happens. And who decides that? Let the divine decide that. You follow what I'm saying? In that sense, it works. சரியா? Yes. Yeah. Yes. The question is, will the prayer of a selfish person work? Yes, it works. It will work. That is the power of unselfishness. When you are exercising that thought, whatever unselfishness you are having, you are bringing into that thought. It works. Again, I repeat, nobody is 0% unselfish. Neither people are 100% selfish. So all human beings are a mixture of selfishness and unselfishness. Okay. Now, if a predominantly selfish person is praying for the other, that is the method by which the predominantly selfish person becomes unselfish. Are you able to follow? The prayer is that by which the predominantly selfish person is becoming unselfish itself. By the law, action will produce a will result. Neha vikramanashosti pratyavayo na vidyate. Kramanasha doesn't happen. Bhagavad Gita in chapter 2 he says, Neha vikramanashosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhaya. Little bit of this you practice, Arjuna, you will be protected from great dangers. You follow? Therefore, all that has to be done is what? I have to pray. Meaning, I wish the welfare of the others. I need not worry about becoming unselfish to pray, because then I'm in a catch-22 situation. What if I become unselfish? Are you able to follow? A selfish person, by shifting the attention to the others, of the very many ways by which you shift the attention to others, one method is prayer. You follow? It works. It will, because the thought will not go waste. Kramanasha doesn't exist. Neha vikramanashosti pratyavayo na vidyate. Verses, very important verses. Verse 40, verse 41, verse 47, verse 48, chapter 2. It clearly lays down the principle of action. Verse 40, verse 41, verse 47, verse 48, chapter 2. Beautiful verses. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफल हेतुर्भूः मा ते संगोऽस्त्व कर्मणि. Your right is an action only. What action? Manasam karma, vachikam karma, kayakam karma. Do your action. What is action? Pray for the welfare of others, because it stops there. Another verse, same in the sequence, verse 40, 41, 47, chapter 2. அங்க புரியலன்றதுனால தான் he has to explain it in chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 6. If it is understood in that 3-4 verses, a person need not go into all this. You follow? Okay, Aparna? Yes.
Selfish. And baby. So previous demos also have tried now also baby teach also baby. They are putting effort with this. As far as school class come out, because so the one day I can come out, right? But I'm not aware.
Yes.
Say baby only I can do it, but I'm not aware.
That's okay. It's okay if you are not aware in the past. It's okay. Having become aware now, what I should do?
Follow.
What she is saying is, she's not asking any question now. Yeah. She simply Columbifying. Yeah, there's no question. Yeah. புலம்புறதுன்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்பா? விஜயரங்கன், புலம்புறதுக்கு இங்கிலீஷ்ல என்ன அர்த்தம்? லாபரிங்கா, லேமெண்டிங்கா, லேமெண்டிங்கா. ராம் சுப்ரமணியம், புலம்புறதுக்கு என்ன அர்த்தம்? லேமெண்டிங் தான் ரைட்டா? There's no question here. Janma after Janma after Janma, I'm begging. I'm not even aware. How can you not aware when you are saying that I'm Janma after Janma after Janma, I'm begging na? You are aware. All that you got to do is what? Make an effort to stop it. More Polumbi to go back and doing the same thing is of no use. Simply lamenting and going back and doing the same thing is of no use. Simply lamenting. Silambarsan, correct than that? Simply lamenting is of no use. Go back and do something. Yes, you have something, Teju? No, negative thoughts also has a manifest, because thoughts means both positive and negative. Consequences are different. Negative thought also has an effect. Positive thought also has an effect. Thought is an action, and that action will have a effect. If it is a positive thought, positive benefit. Negative thought, negative benefit. Consequences only differs, but result, there will be a result. What is the consequences of negative thought? Naraka, pain, misery. That is naraka. Yeah. Consequences of negative thought is pain and misery, naraka. Consequences of positive thought is swarga. Vedanta comes and says, no, there is another use to positive thought. Positive thoughts can have two uses. One is punya, another is chitta shuddhi. The distinction da Vedanta. Just not being positive, just not doing good alone. That doing good should result in chitta shuddhi, moksha. That distinction is what we are trying to elaborate on Vedanta. Otherwise, positive thoughts, positive result. Negative thought, negative result. Cyclically, it will keep repeating again and again and again. Are you able to follow? So, positive thought is positive effect. Negative thought is negative effect. In Vedanta, we are not simply interested with positive effect called punya. In Vedanta, we are trying to achieve what is known as chitta shuddhi. Chitta shuddhi means self-purification, inner purification. Purification means, purification implies there is some dirt. There is some dirt. Purification implies there is some dirt. What is the dirt? Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya, Baya, Dvesha. It's not dirt. I can do some good actions, gather punya, temporarily be free from the six. That's heaven. Temporary freedom from the six is heaven. Permanent freedom from the six is chitta shuddhi. Are you able to understand the difference? Temporary freedom is heaven. When you are in heaven, these six will be temporarily low. That's where you find Puranic stories talk about Indra getting jealous. If Indra is getting jealous, now what is the point? What is the point of Swarga? Are you able to follow? Indra is getting jealous. Now, what is the point of going to Swarga? It means less intense, more intense. Out of pain. So, here we are talking about Vedanta is bringing in a distinct possibility. Chitta Shuddhi resulting in moksha. Are you able to follow? That's how we are discussing. Is it okay, Teju? Yes, Ram Subramanian.
So I also had a question on negative thoughts. So continue with what she said. Right? So we'll take one example. So we said 100 people praying for a person will do good for the person, right? So in that case, with positive thoughts, the receiver is also benefiting the origin of the positive thought. That those 100 people are also benefiting, right? negative thoughts, 100 people are listening in person. Right?
Yes.
So, from what you just explained,
Yes.
so we understand that only people who have negative thoughts are getting affected. Right?
Yes.
How does it affect the person to whom it's targeted? 100 people plus one
Yes.
person, right?
Correct.
The target is not affected, right?
No, that target also will get affected. How can it? How can they not get affected? The question that Ram Subramaniam asking is, if 100 people are thinking positive about somebody, that person gets that one person for whom the 100 is praying gets a positive effect. Supposing if there are 100 people cursing that person, what happens to that person who is receiving the curse? Yes, it works. It will have an effect. That person will have a negative effect. If you have developed an unselfishness and selflessness, how much ever negativity is thrown at you, that acts like a filter. It cannot pass through that. That is the power of tapas. Again, I repeat. Are you able to follow? That is the power of tapas. What is the power of tapas? How much ever is hurled at you, Vishwamitrarkum, Vasishtharkum fight nadakudhu. Vishwamitra is, Appo he is not Vishwamitra. Appo he is Kaushika the king. He is hurling all missiles. All missiles is hurled towards Vasishta. Or bulletproof dress எல்லாம் போட்டுக்கல. இல்லையா பங்கர்லாம் போய் உட்காரல. Yeah, missiles were there. He didn't go into bunker. Bullets were there. Nothing happened. All that he did is what? He kept his stick in front. Or a walking stick he kept in front. Let your missiles pass through that and come and hurt me. And that missiles could not. It swallowed everything. It means what? Your tapas. That is the power of tapas. That's how a tapasvi alone becomes a self-sufficient person, unaffected by the world. It's not easy. Tapas is not easy. You do tapas, you remain unaffected. Where like the danda, it swallows everything. That is the power of tapas. You follow? Therefore, a negative thought also, Ram Tirtha, in that he says, who creates the terrorist? It is the source. We all created the terrorist, he says. Therefore, one thought you have deposited for creating the terrorist, it will come to you. Because what you are thinking? We think. Isn't it? We see a news, corrupt politician. What is your thought? Immediately, somebody must come and correct it. So you have already contributed one thought. Somebody will come. And when that somebody comes and does an action, result will be distributed. Yargallan distribution who all created that person. Ram Tirtha says that. So beautiful it is. It tells you how careful you have to be. You entertain one negative thought and think that you are in the safest place. Nobody can touch you. The grass under your feet will turn against you, and that will bring your downfall. Scary. Why? At least I got scared when I studied. When that I really got, oh my goodness. We read it like a newspaper thing and we do nothing. Nothing happens. And think that you are in the safest place where even gods can't come and touch you. The grass under your feet will turn against you, and that will bring your downfall. That's why in Vedanta we say, don't entertain negative thought irrespective of what the situation is. Irrespective of what the situation that you see outside, don't entertain a negative thought. Ego will say, I'm only correcting it. Ego will say, I'm only correcting it. Vedanta comes and says, who are you to correct it? How can we stay quiet, sir? How can we stay quiet? A 40-year-old man is raping a 2-year-old girl. How can we stay quiet? Correct it. Punya you will get. Definitely punya you will get. No doubt about it. Here we are discussing Are you able to understand the distinction? Here, what are we discussing? Here we are discussing how to transcend. How to transcend. Janaka in Ashtavakra Gita asks Ashtavakra, what is the way to liberation? If you want to attain liberation, stop all this right and wrong business, he says. If you want to attain liberation, stop this business of right, wrong, good, bad. Impossible to do that. Because the ego comes back and accordingly it pays the price. Are you able to follow? Very beautiful question. Janaka asks, what is the way to liberation? He says, get rid of, if you want liberation, get rid of your conditioning. He didn't say get rid of bad. He said get rid of your conditioning. What is conditioning? Right, wrong, good, bad. So if you here, we are assuming that we are aspirants of liberation sitting here. The assumption la idu pesrom. Illa sir, naanga liberation e kekliye. Bhaskar, I'm surprised that you are sitting here today. I don't know why you came. Host பண்ண சொல்லிட்டாங்க சார், அதனால work from home போட்டுன்னு உட்கார்ந்துருக்கிறேன். Isn't it? Correct, Bhaskar?
It's I'm fascinated to hear this today, sir.
You follow? You entertain a negative thought, you will pay the, for a seeker of liberation, is not worried about right, wrong, good, bad and all. We have to transcend that. If I have to transcend that, I need Chitta Shuddhi. What is the way to attain Chitta Shuddhi? Constantly entertain thoughts of welfare, irrespective of the situation that you encounter. If you say, I am not asking for liberation, then the rule changes. From Subramanian. But now, liberation is clear, sir. Yeah. Ram Subramanian is saying, I never asked, why are you assuming and talking all this? Assumption. Okay?
Yes, just one follow-up. So we spoke about Vishishta, even Saturday's test follow-up was what we spoke about Vishishta particular stick over there on the day. So if the target being cursed by 100 people is genuinely unselfish, just that 100 people haven't understood that person, right? So they're cursing him.
Yes.
We have seen it happening to Jesus, right? We have seen Rama being exiled.
Nothing will happen.
Being whipped and all those things and so on. Right? So people are not able to understand even Rama and Jesus. People, right? So 100 people haven't understood a genuinely unselfish person and they're cursing him. Since the target was being as a genuinely unselfish, that person will remain unaffected. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. The question is, if that person is genuinely unselfish, if there are people depositing selfish thoughts, cursing that person to suffer, will a genuinely unselfish person suffer? No. A genuine unselfish person will not suffer. We don't understand that. A genuinely unselfish person will not suffer. Because the law functions very differently. The law for selfishness is different. The law for unselfishness is different. It's not it's not the same law for everybody. Selfishness or category, or law, or consequence. Unselfishness another law, another consequence. You think a crowd of people can put Jesus Christ on a cross? Genuinely you think a group of people can put him on a cross unless he chose that? He chose that. No wise man can be honored like that. That's why I said we can't understand that. You follow what I'm saying? We, going by the stories, we believe that he was put on cross, he was crying. You think a crowd of a bunch of ignorant people can put a wise person like Jesus Christ in a cross? You think a bunch of ignorant people can give poison and Socrates dies? It's not possible. They asked Socrates, everything is said. Plato said, everything is said, Socrates, meaning everybody is bribed. The jailer is bribed, everybody is bribed. At 12 o'clock midnight, the gates will be open for you. You don't have to do anything. All the gates will be open for you. All that you have to do is what? Simply walk out. The chariot will be ready. Before the sun rises, you will be outside this country boundary. அப்புறம் இந்த லாலாம் அங்க செல்லாது. You'll be outside Athens, and that you have to be poisoned to death alone won't work there. Socrates said, what makes you think I don't know all this? Socrates said to Plato, what makes you to think I don't know all this? By taking the poison, I am going to live forever. Therefore, I have to take the poison. So it means, who took the poison? Who took the decision of having to take the poison? The world is talking about unselfishness and love and affection only because that man chose to go on to the cross. Supposing if he didn't go on to the cross and he has said, no, I'm sorry, and walked out, today will we know what sacrifices are able to follow? So in order to convey a message, they sacrifice themselves. Understand? Wise men work very differently. We don't understand that. We see them with our chicken intellect, which is no intellect at all. We see them with our intellect and judge what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad and wrong. Who chose to do that? I always used to think, how can a bunch of ignorant people can overcome a wise person? Then what is the power of wisdom then? Follow? It's not possible. They chose. Why they chose? Because the message has to be conveyed. The knowledge that they want to convey is important. For the knowledge that they want to convey is important. If they have to choose this, they choose. That's why I say, in Jesus Christ's head, the entire crucifixion would have been a drama running in his head. The entire drinking poison for Socrates would have been a drama running in his head. Definitely, yes. But people don't see it like that. They think, oh, if we are good, this is how we will suffer. So don't be good. If we are good, what will happen? Socrates will happen, Jesus Christ will happen, because people don't understand that. Therefore, what to do? Be a bad person. Ram Subramanian. You understand? Bad will try to influence good. The power of goodness is such that it cannot get influenced. That's the law. You follow? With this, we conclude. We'll continue next week.